Hi, it's Angelica and Emily, and we're
Yo,
gonna
yo, yo!
No! We're gonna be teaching you about elements, compounds, and mixtures.
You're welcome.
Shut up.
Somebody start Morana.
Wait, no.
Elements. What are they? Pure substances that can't be broken down into more substances chemically or physically. They're usually found on the periodic table and have a specific amounts of protons and electrons. They are also classified into categories labeled in the periodic table on the right. Examples include things like iron, gold, gallium, hydrogen, oxygen, and chlorine. Compounds. What are they? They're made out of two or more elements, meaning that they are pure substances that are chemically combined. They can be separated, but only chemically. They're usually ionic or covalent bonds, depending on whether the transfer or share of electrons lead to fulfilling the octet rule. Now, on the right, there's a couple of examples like dioxide and H2O. Now, I'm going to zoom in on that little graph explaining ionic and covalent and let Angelica take over.
Pure substances, also known as elements, can create compounds when two or more elements are combined. In turn, these compounds can be classified as either covalent, polar covalent, or ionic. If the electrons are unequally shared, then these are called polar covalent compounds. And if the electrons are transferred, then these compounds are classified as ionic compounds. And lastly, if the electrons are mutually shared, then these compounds are called covalent compounds. Now moving on to what mixtures are. There are 4 different types of mixtures. The first is heterogeneous. It's a mixture composed of different properties/substances. While homogeneous, the second type of mixture, is a mixture with the same composition, often referred to as a solution. The third kind of mixture is called a suspension, and it is a heterogeneous mixture containing solid particles. And lastly, we have colloids, a homogeneous, non-crystalline substance consisting of large molecules and particles that do not settle. On the subject of mixtures, it's essential to discuss how they are separated. It's also important to note on the side that compounds are separated by chemical reactions. Mixtures, on the other hand, are not. The separation of mixtures is based solely on the difference in properties of the items within the mixture. Properties include size, melting point, boiling points, and other things. Methods include, number 1, distillation, which is, liquids based on boiling point, and number 2, filtration, solid versus liquids based on particle size, and number 3, chromatography, liquids based on how well they dissolve.
Now let's take a break from learning and let's play a little game. There are 4 pictures here. A beaker filled with water and sand settling at the bottom, glass of milk, mix of M&Ms, coffee. Now here are the answers. A suspension would be the water beaker with the sand in it. The heterogeneous mixture is a whole bunch of M&Ms, and the colloid is the milk, and homogeneous is the coffee. Now, if you don't understand why, refer back to our slides on mixtures, and you will see that homogeneous has the same composition, while heterogeneous is a mixture of different properties with different compositions, such as the different colored M&Ms. The suspension is because the sand at the bottom settles, and unlike the colloid, which there are little particles in the milk that are not settling.
The following are a few key takeaway points of this lesson. Number 1. Compounds are substances composed of two or more elements that can be separated, but only chemically, because they are chemically bonded together. They have a definite composition. Number 2. A mixture is a substance made by combining two or more substances with one another. A mixture is not chemically bonded and can be separated. They do not have a definite composition. And number 3, an element is a substance which contains only one type of atom and typically has a place on the periodic table. It cannot be broken down into a purer substance than that.